are live. Monday Night Live chat. It's the last one of the year. Cheers, what's going on?
Man, this end of the year thing is like super fast. I'm like behind on everything right now. So, but hey,
Have you purchased all your Christmas gifts?
no,
Yeah.
because there's like people I don't know who to buy for or what to buy for. Like my dad and mom just do nothing, and like just like if they want, like they don't have like stuff, you know.
It's hard to buy for adults. For adults, it's like you already have everything you want. Like, what do I really get for you other than just a bunch of food, just to stuff your face and feel better about yourself? That's it. That's
for my mom, I don't know. For my dad, I don't know. But for my wife, she already has me. So why would I get her anything else?
Wow. Yeah. Yep. Try that one. Just see how that one works out for you. Yep. Won't be good.
And I'm divorced.
Yep. Well, do you want to say your hellos to the people that are here?
Evan Stomp, what's up? The Window Guys is number 2, of course. Zane is number 3, which they should be battling way better than that. Freedom, what's going on? Neff, Clean, Greg, what's going on? Jordan's here. Bryson's here. Carlos, of course, is here. Rocket League Shorts is here also. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Last show of the year. Is everybody done? Is everybody like working like crazy right now? I know that it's warm. It's warmer this time of year than most years at this time. We're like in the 50s right now, and it's 5 o'clock, which is crazy for Colorado, which is awesome. But I figure everybody can work longer, which is great.
Yeah, we're still. This is like the last week of the year in my head. Where you have like one more, like next week is just a throwaway week where like people are like, it's like between the holidays and whatever. It's like a 4-day week, but yeah, it's just like people aren't in the mindset. They're kind of like wrapping up the year. So it's like the last bit of the week or last bit of the year. So question of the day, by the way, if you guys didn't know, SteveO would love to have you as a subscriber if you're not already, but the question to get people talking is a big one. And please be truthful. Last time I asked this, I got kicked out of a Reddit group. But be truthful and tell me, are you up or down for this year? Be truthful. Literally, it does not matter. Up or down does not mean you're a bad business person. If you're down, just true numbers. Tell me what it is percentage-wise that you should be up or percentage-wise what you should be down. I would love to know. Because this year just was a weird year. Like spring came super late. Like, you know, our May was bigger than our March, or our May was bigger than our April, and then our June was bigger than our May, which has never happened, and then our July was bigger than our June, which has never happened. So it's just like a super weird year.
Yeah, super, super strange year. But it seemed like, I know last winter, California got tons of rain, so they were like slower for like, and they're like never like that. So I know a bunch of people that started with that, but it seems like across the country you just get so many variations of what people say as far as busy or not busy. But then places like Florida always seem like they get busy this time of year, so I don't know.
Yeah, by the way, a heart to Jeremy for saying that I could have him. So thanks, man.
Oh, that's sweet. Me too. Or just a little piece of
the other thing, you brought this up and I didn't even think about this, was that like if you're a new business, being up like 100% is like, that could be like year 2. That's totally doable. But like a business that's been out for a while, it's a little bit less doable. So I guess the percentage thing isn't like, perfectly matched, but it's nice to just know if people are like growing in the industry or things are fizzling out. So starting to come in with people giving explanations, which is pretty rad.
Yeah. And some get to that point too, where they're just happy with pretty much matching and just getting a little bit more depending on, what the different things they did that year. I remember one year that like we kind of let go a bunch of people and did it a completely different way and actually made more money. It wasn't more money as in like gross, but it was more money as in like what we made for ourselves, which was kind of cool, but it was kind of in a different way. So it's almost like you wonder if some people are going to kind of redo the way that they've done their business after either year 1 or year 2 or year 3.
Yeah. There's some interesting stuff, by the way. Bryson's in Australia, and I talked to somebody out in Australia also who is like, they're in their peak. Like it is like rocking and rolling right now. It's like the busiest year they've had yet. And they're going into their summer where we're tailing down. So it's pretty crazy to think about that, where it's like, man, Christmas is our busiest time of year. And for us, it's like Oh yeah, we kind of just give up the last month or last week of the month.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
This is where I kind of really just don't start thinking of work anymore until really after like New Year's.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of, it's
you
nice
start fresh almost.
Huh?
You like start fresh, like January like 2nd. You're like, okay, now I can get my head back in the game, you know?
And it's nice to get that like a little bit of a break. And it's nice because everybody takes the break. So it's a very nice time that you really don't get bothered. And like I've gotten to the point where I try to take full advantage of it. But maybe you will.
You know who doesn't take advantage of the break is Chris. So the last week of the year is my hounded the most week. But yeah, no, right.
That's what happens.
That's what
Jeremy
happens.
Pummel got a new house for Christmas. Congratulations. That's always
baller.
sweet. That's always cool. Do we have any tips for Rocket League, who is opening up a window cleaning business at 15 years old? I would say that it would be a really fun topic for this is what are some of the common things that happened in 2023? We've talked about a lot of them on here, but like this would be an example of one of the big things that happened in 2023 here. I think when we started this, we never had maybe any 15-year-olds or younger teenagers on here asking questions. And this year, I think since probably March, we've had somebody every single time kind of asking questions about starting a window cleaning business and being a teenager.
Yeah. I have one thing I want to jump in on that one. And if you obviously like Steve a lot, so he'll give you a real answer. I'm going to give you a real genuine life answer. And I want you to genuinely open up your ears for this. Don't be an a-hole. That's it. Like there are so many people who you're going to have more money, like more success, more structure than your parents will, your friends all will. They'll all be flipping burgers and you'll be making like $80 an hour. So don't let that get to your head and then treat guys like Steve and me like a-holes for trying out.
Yeah, don't do that. It's not nice. But I would say something
2022 as a whole, right?
Yes. I would say something that's really cool though. I was talking to someone just about an hour ago about this and they were 20 years old. And they asked me if there would be anything that I would ever go back and change. And one thing that I would go back and change is I would have started a window cleaning business at a much younger age. So I said to him, I would have started it at 20 years old, like in college. I would not have, I know I would never have started one of these businesses as a teenager. I did lawn mowing and I loved it. I would still do it to this day if it could be a really good profitable business. But, you know, that is one thing though, is that just getting into it and starting to just be an entrepreneur is a great thing at 15 years old. And you'll learn a lot, but you know, start doing like your friends and your family's homes and kind of see how you like it and go from there. Take some pictures and a before and after, maybe, you know, get an Instagram and Facebook going and stuff like that, and kind of just start doing that. That's what I would suggest at 15 to kind of get your feet wet. You know, this is the time of year where it is a little bit less, but I think he's saying he lives in Australia too.
Yeah, and it's hustle, man. I'm telling you, like any new business, I don't know. I remember my first year, I've said this story before, but like it was my buddy that I hired right away, basically as my brother's friend, but he had just gotten a weed. That's how like old I am. It was like just had come out. And yeah, so like when we first started work, we would just like not do work that day. Like if we had route stuff, we'd be like, yeah, let's just play tanks. That was like the game, you know? And like I know that my mentality back then was more of like, dude, I can't believe I'm making this much money. Like I like, it doesn't matter. I don't have to work 40 hours a week, man. I'm making as much, instead of thinking like, oh, but if I do work 40 hours a week, like exponential growth happens in business. Like if you do $100,000 this year, that means next year you grow on that 100,000. If you do $1,000 this year, next year you grow on the $1,000. So exponential growth, man, it's a hard concept to understand, but makes sense in business. Definitely. Were you like mature enough in the beginning, do you think, like at 15? Like, I don't know. I think I was like a poo stain. I don't know that I would have like been smart enough to do that.
No, I was way more worried about like video games and like beating a level of anything and in like just sports and stuff like that. And that took up like a good amount of my time at that age. I was not ever in a mindset, I can say confidently, that I ever wanted to start a business. But something we didn't have was the influence of YouTube and the influence of being able to, you know, look at something of how-tos and how much information is out there. I think that's what's really changing it, and information that's really gear pointed towards like that dynamic.
How much they can learn and how fast they can learn.
Exactly. And we just didn't have this resource. Like, to me, I only knew of window cleaning when I was at that age, just because every once in a while we had window cleaners that come do the outside of our house. I never saw them. I just knew they came every once in a while as a kid. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the interesting thing about the industry anyway, is that we fly under the radar, you know. People don't really know what it is that we do. So we kind of make our own rules. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. That's something else I was saying to someone today, is like, window cleaning is very much of a thing that you can make what you want to make of it. Like, it doesn't have to really be like a full-on business. You can have it, you know, just be a part-time guy. It's one of those things that you can really form just due to like the low overhead, and there's just so many ways to make it. There's a lot of businesses like that, but I think window cleaning specifically can really be that. Like Victor's a weekend warrior. Like, you know, he's always, you know, he does it that way, and that's the way he's done it. So it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the other part. You have both pieces. You can do it part-time or you can do it full-time. Like, there's no wrong way either, you know?
Yeah. Craig had a good question. Would you rather clean, and we'll ask this question to the comments as well and see what you would rather do. Would you rather clean storm windows by yourself all day or spend the entire day cleaning automated doors at a busy grocery store? I would clean storms all day. I hate automated doors. I hate the people that come in and out of them. You're cleaning it. Somebody comes through. You got to put your foot in front of it to stop them.
You just flip the switch though, right?
You flip the switch, but there's still the a-holes that come through. Oh, excuse me. And like, you know, you're fine. I would not do that for the whole day.
Yeah. I would almost agree with you. I think that storms would be a better day.
Yeah. Because once you learn a storm, you do 2 sets of storms, the whole rest of the day. Well, you may break a storm, but the whole rest of the day is going to be okay. It's just going to be busy work, and you're going to get done with it fast. Well, in a way. So, yeah.
By the way, if you're watching and you do have questions, or you just want to like talk to us, put something in the comments. And if we don't see it, we write them down and send them to each other. If we don't see it, just write it again. But there's a little heart in your screen. Make sure that you click the heart like as much as you possibly want, and comment all you can, because we want these videos to get bigger and better. And Steve is a struggling YouTuber who needs a subscriber. So
yes, please. We only have 2 likes. Oh, this is so sad. There's 32 people watching. I don't know what's going on. But I am going to do a giveaway here soon. I just have not gotten to what the giveaway is going to be, because we got to 40,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I never really thought that'd be possible. Already to 40.6. So it's just crazy. It's been a big, I've actually, and I'm sorry to say this, I've actually grown 20,000 subscribers this year, which is the biggest I've ever grown on YouTube. And this is all due to what I said.
No, it's fine.
This is all due to what I said at the beginning of the year. YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts are the key to this whole thing.
By the way, if anybody doesn't know, I have a lady that works with me that's super awesome. By the way, she's leaving. But Jen is leaving. But I say the term F SteveO like at least twice a week, because his videos will pop up and it'll be like just posted something with like 32 million views of him like screwing up a window, and I put like 5 videos a day, and it's like, hey, this has been a great week. I got 51 subscribers this week, and Steve's like, oh, neat. That's what I got this hour too. And I'm like, no, I mean like this week. Like, you're like, oh, actually, not. It's not even that week. It's this month is 51, and that was cool though.
Hey, you know, you just got to go soap up some windows and make some soapy squeegee videos. I tell you what, man, they're the key to life. I tell you what.
I still remember when you were like, dude, anybody could do this. You just make a YouTube video or a Instagram reel. Like, that was like a year ago. You're like, dude, an Instagram reel, it's got like 3 million views just like that, dude. It's so easy. And I was like, I hate Steve.
Dude, when Instagram was paying for their reels, that was amazing. Because I don't know what they were thinking, but it was not.
They stopped it real quick when they were like,
stopped it real fast. Yeah.
Probably not do.
Zuckerberg grabbed that money real quickly. And he's like, we're not doing this. We're not doing this at all. It was fast. I got part of TikTok's thing, but that thing's dumb too. It doesn't really work either. I don't know.
Have you thought about doing a live TikTok?
Huh?
You have like a ton of TikTok things. You should be doing live on TikTok.
I have a ton of TikTok things because of like 2 videos. That's the thing though.
They're not window cleaners. That's the only downside with like a TikTok type thing where like when you have, which is awesome still to have a content that has like, you know, a million views on it, but it's like, well, it's not all window cleaners. So it's like, do you just want to talk to the masses or do you want to talk to like the specific window cleaners? Everybody that's in this group right now is a window cleaner. So
yeah,
pretty
exactly. Everyone in here are the people that like really be want to talk to as far as that stuff goes. Good. Tons of questions come in here.
Yeah.
The next one was Victor Guru. Anyone going to run a special for the new year? I've been contemplating it. So what would be a discount that any one of y'all would run right now at the end of the year? Put the percentage that you would do or how much money you would put off of a service or a free service if that's the way you would do it. I never did discounts around this time of year. I was saying that to someone the other day. I said, honestly, the funny thing is that we as sales reps get asked about, you know, can we do discounts all the time with the certain items? But then it's funny as an actual window cleaner, and you say this to a window cleaner, but do you actually ever really discount your work? Like, do you ever do that? And they're like, no, I actually never do. I'm like, yeah. So it's like, it's very, very rare. And we're all very, very like, we don't ever want to lose any money. So we never did discounts. We were just busy up till Christmas. It was just everything we could do to fit it in before Christmas. But I could see, you know, at least maybe, oh man, we never really gave gifts to our customers either. I guess that's pretty bad. Do you do that?
Well, so the only way that like a discount works is if somebody would be a no without the discount. If they still were going to be a yeah, like you have, so with that making sense is you have to have a discount that gets people to buy. And this time of year, nothing gets people to buy. You'd be like, hey, I'll clean your windows for $10. They'd be like, I'm kind of busy. Like we'll talk, you know, like, so it's like, don't discount it because you're just losing money because it's not actually gaining you any work. Right. So, you know, that's the same thing where you find like you go to a restaurant and something is on sale. It's because they're trying to like, you know, move the salmon. That's why they need to get rid of it. It's not because it brings more people into the restaurant, you know?
Exactly.
I like free stuff, I have to say, instead of like adding like, hey, with all, you know, if you book between now and the end of the year, any interior and exterior window cleaning, we'll get a free gutter cleaning. Something like that, where you're adding value, not taking a discount, because that kind of stuff breaks the noise over a discount. If they're going to hire you, they're not going to care about $20.
Like, you know, throw in like the service of like cleaning the inside of the microwave window. I mean, just a perfect service that your customer is always going to remember. It should work out really, really well for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't catch that.
I'm sorry. I was reading comments. I didn't catch it.
Let's see here. Next question. What do you guys think the market is in the suburbs of Chicago for window cleaning? Is anyone in the comments from the suburbs of Chicago? Well, I know this guy is. You've been there.
No, that's where my business was.
In the suburbs of Chicago?
Technically. We're in Wisconsin, but we're like...
We thought you were from Wisconsin, sir.
Yes, but we were in... people we did work for worked in Chicago. Like, we were just past it. Like, we were like an hour drive out of Chicago, so...
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so please... Tell this man.
Yes,
tell him the market.
Everywhere. People always ask that, but like every house you've ever seen ever has windows. Like if it doesn't, then it's super creepy. Yeah. So every house has windows. Every business has windows. You just have to be good at business, you know?
There's always a market for it. Every time that you think that there isn't window cleaners in your market, there are window cleaners in your market. Certain things like that. But yeah, you can start a window cleaning business anywhere. I mean, you really can.
Yep.
Neff Clean, residential bathroom mirrors be treated like average window glass. Would a fugu sleeve be okay to use on them for organics? I've never had a problem with using a fugu sleeve. I used a porcupine for a long time from Ettore. I never had an issue with like scratching any mirrors at all. So I would think it would be fine. You can use
glass, like the coating's on the back of the glass anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd be totally fine.
I don't think you need a fugu though. If you have it on, don't take it off. But you definitely don't need it for that. That's for like heavy scrubbing.
Maybe it's a really, really dirty mirror. You know,
funky people, dude. I used to do. I was a senior collector for a credit union, and I was in charge of like repossessions, foreclosures, that type of thing. Dude, there was some stuff you'd walk in, you're like, somebody literally lived in this house up until like 2 months ago, and you look at it, and you're like, how in the world did somebody actually live here? Like, how did like this so scummed up? The mirror was just like, oh, so bad. So I could see it, baby.
Do you watch TLC? Any show on TLC?
No.
Every show on TLC makes you question what you do in life. That's how I feel.
You just feel really clean about your own life. You're like, oh,
yeah. I feel, wow. Hey. If I ever feel bad, I just go watch TLC for an hour and I feel better.
Yeah. Oh, I got a phone charger just sitting on this table. That's like as cluttered as I feel. Yeah.
Hey yo, Sean Johnson's here, late to the party. Howdy doody. Let's see here.
By the way, did you see Eddie S is here? Do you think that's the Eddie Stewart?
I think that's Eddie Stewart. Yep, I do.
I can't believe that he would take time out of it. I think he's just still doing autographs and stuff for being window cleaner of the year.
Window cleaner of the year. Why aren't we window cleaner of the year?
It's rigged.
I think it is rigged.
Eddie.
That's okay.
I think Eddie bullies Chris, and that's why, you know, or not Chris, TJ and them, you know, like,
oh man,
he's just, you know, he's feared, and people just decide to, you know, give him that just so they don't get retaliation. So,
man, I want a trophy someday of that, but maybe someday.
Do you know where they got that belt idea from?
WWF?
No. Oh, that was me. I sent him links, and I'm like, I want this. This was like way back before, because I, like, you know, broke a bunch of goals for him. I'm like, I want this because I'm like an awesome salesman, and I want you to like. And then he was like, yeah, that's cute. And then like a year later, he's like, hey, kind of used your idea. I'm like, you got me a belt? He's like, not you.
Not you.
Chips it to people.
I've seen those belts though on. I saw it somewhere else. Someone used that belt on like an actual TV show for somebody when they won something. So,
yeah, they're like legit, real metal belts too.
And I will not accept anything less than 100% gold. So
that's well.
Let me know. Let me know when it's ready.
That's right.
Let's see here. Any good techniques for cleaning sliding screen doors? If you don't know, and I send you a photo to Steve on Instagram. Okay. Anyways, yeah, sliding screen doors. Gosh, I never took them out of the tracks. I hated taking them out of the tracks. I would always scrub them down with my sleeve and then just hit the water off and wipe the frames. That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I still do.
I don't think there's like anything really that special about them anyway. I would never pull like a screen door off either. Yeah. So I just cleaned it on. Same thing with the glass.
Yep, definitely.
I have. Yeah, oh, sorry. I was going to say the one other question. If you're going to keep talking about this, just, everybody who's in the comments, go ahead and not listen to this next part. But Steve, just me and you, we're working on the possibility of a contest that includes the winner of the contest having a spree in the warehouse. It would be like you get flown out to New York, you get a hotel, you get 60 seconds to go and get anything you want and bring it back if you're the winner. But don't tell anybody that's part in the works because it's still a ways out. But got to figure out how to make that work without, you know, somebody taking Chris' car.
Now I'll be receiving texts and calls about this, and I will have no info. Don't text me about it.
Okay, and now you guys can listen again. I was telling Steve a little secret.
That'd be pretty amazing, though. That'd be pretty freaking cool.
Wouldn't that be boss? Like,
yeah. Craig was just talking about that earlier.
I know, that's what made me think of it. I'm looking at the comment on there.
Good. Stewart Page, Steve, how do you like that X-Line brush? I had that X-Line brush for like 2 years now. It's a really, really cool concept. Got a rinse bar right in the middle of it. So it's super nice as far as that goes. I love the rinse bar. Having it in the middle is great. I think it's great for commercial work. You ever tried any brush like that with the rinse bar, like in the actual middle? Have you seen this?
Yeah, not that particular one, but I've tried some like beta stuff like that, and it's an interesting concept. I really like pressure though too. So if you got the flow and the pressure, rinse bars are okay, but I don't like it on the top really rinse bars. So I see the inside being pretty beneficial, but
yeah, at
that point, then you don't really need. The rinse bar is so that you can rinse on the glass, but now because it's in between the bristles, you still have bristles on top. You can't rinse on the glass. It's an interesting concept, but
right. Yeah, I like it though because it's a shorter rinse bar, so it doesn't take as much pressure, doesn't take as much flow.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. Yeah,
I would like
they're not even available here in America, so
I would like a rinse bar where like, and I don't remember if we did this or I just thought of this, but take like epoxy and fill every other hole so that it like, you know, you're blocking out most of the holes, but then instead of having 24, you really only have 12, so you get some of that pressure back.
I've done it on the ends, like brought it in, so it's just like but there's so many things. It's just flow.
I really like the Xero rinse bar, the metal one where it goes out in the end, where people were freaking out about thinking that it's broken. But I love that concept, like getting into that nook where that was a problem with the rinse bars. When you get up to the edge, like it won't rinse right into the edge. So that completely takes care of that. I think people
the working hard is sometimes if you take it way far away, it really goes.
Oh yeah, if you're trying to rinse off the glass, I could see that. Yeah,
you kind of just have to rinse either on the glass or super close to the glass, and you know, it's fine with that. Craig real quickly asked, Why does UK have all the cool products that are not available in the USA? Oh, how can we say this nicely? Not get
Their industry is bigger there.
Yeah,
It's
window
more
cleaner
popular.
loved.
People in window cleaning here don't realize that window cleaning here is just like a poo stain on the world of like Unger is a $1 billion company, and they like have this many window cleaning things. So everybody in window cleaning thinks this is giant thing, where in the UK there's just, I bet you there's probably double the window. Well, maybe not double, but per capita, I bet you there's twice as many window cleaners.
Well, though, to say this though is that so they get a lot of the newer Unger products quickly, but there is a lot of products like Sorbo is not sold in very many places in the UK. Because I get a lot of comments on my channel, hey, how do I get this out in the UK? So there is a lot of items that they do want that they don't get. But there is like window cleaning warehouse out there, different places like that they can buy stuff through. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some give or takes like between them. Yep. That's for sure. Like I know like the bronze wool pad holder kind of thing, that kind of came from the UK as far as that coming over here to the States. There is some cool stuff, but yeah.
They envy us because we get paid more technically, but we envy them because of their frequency. Like everybody's on route. Like you're doing houses every like couple, every 2 weeks, once a month. That's like everybody's houses that you just do your route route. Where here it's like, you got one job, you got it, 12 months from now, unless you're doing the dentist close.
Yeah, exactly. Because I sometimes I'll talk to Tradman every couple years, and he'll always say that every month he can just get this done and have like a few days off before he starts it again. I couldn't imagine just doing that for residential all the time though.
It'd be a little bit boring. I do kind of like route's fun to kind of get your, mind off of things and just get into a humdrum, but every day that would be like, it'd be a bit much.
Yeah, exactly.
As the guy who sits at a desk every day, I shouldn't even talk, but yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. It works out. Let's see. Yep, Craig was talking about should be a tour of WCR warehouse and shopping spree. Jay can you explain types of windows are out there on the market? Dude, there's so many types of windows on the market. You can clean all of them though.
Dozens.
The funniest thing about it is that most windows are very, very similar, and you can clean them all in the same ways, and you really don't need to know about all the different window manufacturers.
It's like they're taking it apart. If you can look at a window, you can look the frame. If there's any latches or knobs or connections, then you know that that's part of it. If it's not there, then there are springs. Like you can kind of tell how to take apart a window by looking at it. There's only been I had one screen at one complex. We got in there and did like every condo in the whole place, like not at one time, but just like everybody told everybody kind of thing. And we could not get the screens out. I mean, we could get them out. We could never put them back in. I have no idea still to this day how those are supposed to function. So every now and then you get something like that, but it's pretty rare.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have a job right now where I had to basically snap every corner of every screen to get it out. And that's the way they wanted it. And they fired their last window cleaner because of that. But then I explained to them, like, these windows were never supposed to go in this building in this type of recess. Like this was never supposed to happen because of the way the screens come out. So this is a stupid feature.
Are they sliders?
They're sliders and they're recessed, and the only way the screen comes out is from the inside because of that whole lip on the outside. But you can, and then the windows
you can't pull the window out to get the screen out because those are the exact same style that I was talking about.
Yeah, and they're super heavy, and you have to be over people's desks, getting them out like while they're working. They won't move for you. So anymore, I just said we're leaving them out of these screens. All these other ones are broken, so I'm just gonna like put them in and kind of make them look good, and they're cool with it. So
I had in that same condo complex, there was a guy named Rusty. It was like this old timer, just like he's the guy with the like tattoo on his arm where you're like, it looks like it could have been a girl on an anchor at some point, but it was so bled out. I mean, he was an old Navy guy. Anyway, we're talking about it, and he's like, dude, you got to get like the screens out, like to clean or whatever. And I says, dude, if I pull them out, I cannot put them back. He's like, then why would I clean them? I'm like, exactly. We'll just leave them in, blah, blah, blah. He's like, F that noise. He was in the thing, and he comes back out with a screwdriver, and he just stabs his screen or rips it off and like pulls the screen out. He's like, I don't open my windows anyway. Take them all off. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Whatever,
Rusty. It happens though, man. Like there's just a few jobs. I think the one job that I have like that is when I was talking about. I don't know if I can think of anything else. I have one guy that has security screens, and he won't let me take them out. So every window is just cranked open. I have to do in and out from the outside.
What's the worst type of window you have? Like, what is like the absolute worst scenario window for you?
Worst scenario window would probably be a storm that you have to take the panes out on top of like a 20-foot ladder inside of a home. I think that's been the worst situation I've ever been into, just due to like, you get your ladder position, you go up there, you try to pull the storm, it hits the ladder. You got to reposition your ladder, go back up, trying to pull the storm. You get that one out, you go to the next one, it's jammed. So you got to sit up there with every freaking tool on your tool belt trying to get it loose. That has to be the worst thing. Or the Pellistorm windows that you release with the gasket that open from the sides or stuff like that.
With like the string and everything inside. And
yeah, we had a whole home with those. And they're the ones when they open like this. So the water just goes straight down, and then you have no good way of like, all you can do is stick a towel down there, and you're just going to streak it up, and you just soak it up as much as possible. I think those are the shittiest.
Yeah, those, I was trying to think what would be worse. Those ones with like the strings that are like super tight inside there too, or a like cut up window, wooden storm window with cut ups and bad glazing. I hate bad glazing because you're like, towel gets stuck and then chunks are falling out and you're like, stupid. And the windows are just garbage anyway. Yeah.
It's bad. Any other window cleaners wear Xero shoes? Does anybody wear these?
No, but Xero, the brand Xero, it's a different brand, but same spelling and everything. So every time you search something that's like a super popular shoe brand now, I guess. So it pops up every time you search Xero.
We get shoe returns all the time for them, don't we?
You get what?
We get emails for them all the time of, hey, I need to return my shoes.
Or crystals.
Yeah. Or for crystals.
Hey, where are my crystals? I bought them on the infomercial. Why are you calling us?
Craig asked, will you clean car windshield? And if so, how much? I get asked regularly by random people coming out to me while en route. No, man, I never do. I always used to tell people, though, when I had the water fed pull out, I said $100 and it'll clean your windshield. No one ever went for it.
Yeah.
That would be a business. You could sit at a street corner. You could have your delivery system right at the stoplight. You just collecting money all day. Everyone stops. You just go
I think they're worried about the insides more than that, because the insides are a pain in the butt. That's what I always assume every time.
The inside of their windshield. That's always just hazy and smoky, and you don't need to worry about it. No one's.
I have cleaned them. I think like the lowest I've ever charged has been like $20 or $40 or something, but it was more like,
did you charge for this? What?
It was one of those, I've done it like 3 times, and it was because somebody asked jokingly, and I'm like, man, that'd be like $50. I'm like, fine. And I'm like, and I just shoved the towel, like my Huck towels in the very, end of it, and like scrub it. And then I just squeegee it and then detail it for a whole bunch of time, because there's like, the mirror and everything else, but
yeah,
I would never do it on purpose. It's just, I open my big mouth and then somebody says yes, and you're like,
the best I ever got the inside of a windshield was from the Squeegee vacuum that I think Karcher makes. I have that one. I made a video because I was super bored like a few years ago. And I made a video about it. It was really
actually work?
Huh? It actually does work. Yeah. It really, really works. It will clean up all the solution. I used it in my mirrors. Like I haven't used it in a couple of years, just sitting in my closet, but it actually worked. Like that was a really good way of doing NCL. But now what I'll do is a microfiber with alcohol and pure water, and that's, I think, the best you can do. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the alcohol pure water thing. I would rather use spray foam.
You love your spray foam.
Love my spray foam. So good.
I don't know. This spray foam thing.
I love when people are like,
when you said that about French windows on last episode, never in my life had I ever even wanted to do that.
Dude, I've not
the way spray away looks after like a few days.
I've not ever done a cut up window with squeegee in 100 years. It's been so long. As soon as I figured out the spray foam thing, I'm like, oh, this is it, man. No chasing, no drips, no weird water behind, no detailing 9 frames per window. Oh, so good.
So what I realized though was that your company was a rag boy.
The company was a what?
You're basically like a little rag boy.
Yes, yeah, that is
people in pro
totally didn't realize that at the time, but I will take it. I will 100% take it. It is
clean is clean. Clean is clean, and that's that's all you need to do.
So much.
We had
it's
a number of jobs where we had cut channels left. We leave them at the house. Guys, that would guarantee we'd always do the work. And we cut down all these channels, and they all look great. Water fed, pull the outside, couple guys on the inside, boom, done.
It's like when somebody tries a one clip for the first time, they just fall in love.
Their squeegee through a window. And they're like, this is the worst.
Fall in love. By the way, Eric M just said, I got spray foam because of Josh.
Well, Eric M, your business has failed.
I hope he's a one clip guy too. That would be amazing. He'd be my new favorite person of the day.
Hey, so most, Chase Stockwell, he said you're a rag boy, like John's window cleaning.
Chase just is always over there kissing on SteveO's ring. It's fine.
The rag technician. Hey, Marcus Hertz, we have done everything we can about this microphone. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. This is like the third thing.
No, Steve is still using a PC. So if anybody wants to hate on him, I will use rags all day, but I'm not going to use a PC. So
what?
You like start using your Rode mics or something, like your Lavier mics,
No, is that I removed all of the padding for the sound deafening in my whole entire office because we were going to move, and I'm not going to do it until I move again. So
I just realized that I have a bunch of padding on my ceiling, and then on the entire wall on the opposite side is padding too. I guess I didn't realize that.
That's where the reverb comes from. So.
Yeah, and then there's just an echoey gun wall on the other wall. So.
Marcus Hertz, you said, mate, are you from Australia? Just curious. Anyways, let's talk about Vanderhoff. What's the minimum charge to go out and do one picture window if someone wants it done? $199. That is my price.
Truck minimum. Truck minimum.
Yeah, definitely $199.
And
unless it's a good customer and I can do it on the way home, then maybe I'll do it for $198.
$199 is whatever that minimum is. It's great when people are like, oh yeah, but what about the little old lady? You're helping her out. Fine, do whatever you want. But as a rule, $199, say that's your number. It's great because then when people call and they go, hey, I just have one window, say, well, I'd love to do that. Just so you know, we have a truck minimum of $199. So we may be able to do your whole house for the same price. We could do that one window. And then instead of it being like, oh, you're overcharging me for one window, they're like, oh, awesome. Yeah, I didn't know it'd be that price. Let's get the price for the whole thing. You can do the whole job.
Guitar Uncut said, my minimum is $75. What if everybody in this chat had at least a minimum of $150? At least. And we changed
$75? That's not even hours worth of work.
Right. Yeah.
Like you got to drive there.
Man. I bet you could increase that and double it and be totally fine.
No one would ever say anything. 100%. $149 was my minimum like 10 years ago. So you could totally do that now. And by the way, that's residential, not route though. Some people are always like, oh yeah, that's what I do on route too. That's different. Yeah. Route's a different beat.
Route, I feel like I keep debating between like 35 to 40 for route for a minimum lately. I can't. What would you say?
It's gotta be the right route. Like so we have a couple like uptown places where it's just like row buildings or whatever you call them. Like if it's on that one where I do 90% of them already, I'm okay doing cheaper because I'm going to clean the window on both sides of it anyway. But like if I got to go somewhere, farther, then I'm going to make it worth my time. Or I'm going to then, if I am taking that, I'm going to then sell a crap ton around there to try to make that route make sense.
Yeah. The worst is when you schedule something like this and you think it's one window and you get there and the customer's like, you know what? I was thinking about it. Can we just do the whole house? You're like, oh my God, this is my last shot.
Sure, I don't have a calendar. I think people do think that you're just waiting around. Like the people who are like getting calls now, like, hey, can you clean my windows by Christmas? And you're like, bro, that's like 3 days. Like we have 3. No. Like, oh, you don't have any room? Like, no, I'm not just sitting here waiting for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are, but not usually. And by the way, as a side note, comments help us. By the way, if you have questions, definitely ask it. But I want to ask one more time because I'm seeing a lot of 2 clips. Just comment 1 clip or 2 clip. I have to know because I still have to say 1 clip all the way. Bright side window cleaning, of course. 1 clip. It's amazing. Kickstand Stafford. He's another kiss the ring. Eddie Stewart. He just wants to be the opposite of what I like. 1 clip or 2 clip. Tell me what you are. And then I can see who's who's smart or who is.
Or if you're zero clips, maybe some are zero.
I'll look down on you if you're just using zero clips. Like if you're running those Unger clips.
I don't mind zero clips. I'll use that with my Unger S channel. Like, zero clips.
I shouldn't say that because they're super popular, but they drive me nuts.
Would you get a one clip tattoo? Sean Johnson says, "Where's the tattoo?" Just right here.
I don't know. Yeah, just it's going to be a teardrop, but instead of a teardrop, it's just a brass clip.
The new things that rappers are doing is right above here. I mean, just one shot. I mean, it'd be done so fast. Might get a little headache.
I don't have any tattoos, and it's not because I'm a wuss. It's because would you put a bumper sticker on a Ferrari? No, no. Actually, it's because I have ADD and nothing I do right now will I be into in 6 months. So if I got a tattoo, I'd be like, why do I have a Pokemon on my shoulder? Oh, I was into that for a minute or something.
It's been 4 years for me, and I can't ever think of ever getting. I don't ever think of them anymore. Never.
It's crazy.
I could care less. I if anything, if they come out with like a really quick way to remove tattoos, I'm getting so many removed.
Really?
Yeah, but like right now the process is absolute crap. Like it's not crap, it's just it takes a long time, so I don't want to do it.
Think about this though, Steve. Like you know how when you buy a house for 100,000 and then all of a sudden it's worth 200,000, you're like, I got like,
it's not a body.
Skinny Steve, when you got tattoos, I mean, you've doubled your value, now with your with what do you call it, your belly button?
Yeah.
Belly button shirt.
All my belly button shirts.
Why getting them removed now?
I just know, because what I know is that I'm having a daughter, and then my daughter, when she gets to be a teenager, she's gonna want tattoos because I have tattoos, and now I've messed up.
Well, there you go. Well,
that's my main thing. I was telling my wife the other day. I said, you get that like now because dad has tattoos. All of our kids are gonna want tattoos, or they'll look at dad and say, "Oh, dad's a fool. I'll never get tattoos." Hopefully, it happens that way, because now that I have kids, I would have never gotten tattoos.
Yeah,
like, seriously, 100%.
I'm like totally not for or against tattoos. I don't like. I mean, I get like somebody had asked in one of the groups like a neck tattoo or something. Like if you're getting a neck or face tattoo, then like understand people will always treat you different because it's not because you have tattoos. It's because the moral side of having a face or neck tattoo, right? And I know people with face and neck tattoos and they're super awesome, but like a random person will always think that. So if you have tattoos anywhere that somebody can see, that's just going to kind of be a persona. You just got to be okay with that. It's like, having a beard versus not, or a mustache versus not. Like,
real quickly,
Shave November.
Which tattoo would I remove? I'd remove this tattoo. This is my last tattoo, and this is my worst tattoo.
No one can see it. You got to put it to the camera.
I don't want to put it up there. I don't want people, they can see it. They see me. Zach has seen me in person. He knows.
It is a platypus fly fishing for salmon.
So yeah, it'd be this one, and then it would be the unicorn. Because it's not a unicorn, but people say it's a unicorn. So that would be the next one to have to remove. Is that one? I'll always keep my screaming gorilla. You've never probably seen that. When I first got that, someone was like, "Is he throwing up?" No, he's excited.
Bro, it's like a tattoo I would have never ever thought anything about, but you said the unicorn thing, and that's all I see now every time I see you. And I glance and see like the tattoo. That's all I can think about is the unicorn tattoo. It's amazing.
It was like 3 weeks after I got it, and this was when I was still single, and I was in the gym, and there was this girl that I kind of liked, and she came up to me and she's like, "Wow, so you got a unicorn?" "No, it's a freaking Denver Bronco. They just won the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know." And
I just paid a bunch of money for this thing that you think is a unicorn.
Yeah, it's not good. So, hey, I think some people would agree with me. If you had tattoos and you could get rid of them a little bit and have an easier way than what is right now, I would 100% do it. Or if I could like go under like anesthesia and they could remove them all, I would do that.
Would you? I was going to say, would you actually remove all of them, or would you just remove a couple?
No, I'd always keep whatever I have on this arm. But yeah, I would remove my forearm. I have a lot. I have a lot on scene, and that will stay that way.
Go with the piercings.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I know it would be expensive, but I think it would be totally worth it. And I think a lot of people of like our age, like growing up, like when tattoos really, I feel like they've kind of died down just a tad, but maybe it's just because they're not into it at all. Like, are your teenage daughters like really into tattoos? Have they asked about it at all?
Never.
No.
I'm really glad I didn't get the barbed wire. Like, you know, like that was
your
my
new
era, man. Tribal
black, just all the way down your arm. Yep, that was key. That was, hey, I wanted it at one point. I'm glad I didn't do it.
Yeah. You know how many people are going to regret their like blackouts, you know, when they get older and they're just like, I'm always hot on that side of my body when the sun is out. Like, I mean, people.
We got totally off track here, but Chris Simmons asked a really good question like 30 minutes ago. What products are new for 2024? I think there's like, so recently there has actually been quite a few new products that have come out that are actually quite cool that I've got to try. Maker rubber, I got to try that recently. I actually really like that. It had a longer tongue to it, so the glide was nice. Turning with it was super nice. The Mormon gray rubber is just as good as Unger green rubber, if not better. If you're trying to get like a medium to hard rubber, that's really good for. Yeah,
you're talking Mormon silver.
Yeah, it's
Mormon
really
silver. To Steve, the green rubber guy said it could be better.
Yeah, you know what though, and I think what it was is that people started putting that green rubber in a lot of liquid air channels. And Mormon is a company that is always, like in the last few years, as much as some people don't like them, they are always trying to invent new stuff. Like they really are. I mean, we haven't had a lot of new stuff from other companies as much as Mormon has. They have like 5 bucket on a belt out, like different plastic versions. They have different versions for everything. So there's that stuff. Of course, Xero has come out with all like brushes. So we have brushes. There'll be new poles coming out, some new pure water power poles. They're gonna be hitting the market next year. That's gonna be exciting. Anything you can think of? I know you talked about a little something earlier about a giveaway maybe that might happen in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, there's not the innovation stuff that like comes out, but then it ends up taking time to pull up. So there's nothing that I know of that's super big because we would have beta tested it already. But the silver stuff that's been out, I beta tested that like 6 months ago and it just never appeared. It was like, oh, I guess they're not coming out with it. And then like now there's Maker rubber, which was talked about in something else versus for a while. And yeah. So you never know when it pops up.
Right. Something else that just came out a bit ago and has been all refined, really good to go, is Xero high flow hose. That's probably one of the things that's kind of a sleeper right now.
You really like that. You like that too.
With all the fittings that are corrected and everything, it's great as far as that goes. It does connect way better into a 10 millimeter push to fit. But I have been testing that since June. So like I've been using that hose, and even Zach Bunch, who was on here, he was with me one time at a job, and he could even notice the difference of using that compared to like a normal Xero hose. So if you were to put, and I did this with like a bunch of testing, and a video will come out soon on WCR's channel, is that if you were to put 100 feet of the 5/16 line and 100 feet of the high flow hose, and you were to measure at the end of those hoses, you would get double the volume from the high flow hose than you would get from the 5/16 hose at the end of those hoses. So kind of cool. So yeah, that's a really cool thing to market. But we got so many requests about it for so long that we had to, so.
Yeah, now it's just implementing it back in to make it work with everything that's already been put out for so long.
Yeah. I can't really think of much else. I remember seeing some picture even in like a pro group or on Instagram that Unger's coming out with the new vice versa. Not that we really as pros use the vice versa. There's that coming out, but
there is from ISSA. I was just at the ISSA show in Vegas, and Mormon, Vegas is Vegas. Mormon had a new tool that they were introducing, but it's actually a mop because they're like Unger. They make a bunch of stuff for a bunch of industries, and it is ridiculous. I mean, it's a mop. I know that sounds so stupid, but the concept of the mop, I know they're going to put into the concept of everything that we use, because as you clean, the rubber's holding down the mop, and then as that gets dirty, you just lift it, and then when you replace it, it moves it on the thing. So I feel like that's going to get implemented, and I see it coming. I don't know that kind of stuff happens super quick, but I thought that was so. Every now and then they come out with stuff just in general that you're like, how did nobody think of that? How is this not a thing?
Right. I want to address something real quickly that came up from Not Cosmic Cam. I don't know if you'll have insight on this, but I'll read the question real quickly in case you do. I feel like not too long ago, people are saying that Ettore had a bad batch of rubber going around. I wonder if Jersey had access and can see like how many people are returning and complaining. I don't think you probably ever maybe noticed that. Did you?
No, so if there ever was a problem, it usually is just like, oh, hey, sorry you had a problem. We sends you out new rubber. So there's not really a way to see that. I know that Ettore has been really pretty solid, but I feel like there was a small, very small compared to kind of anything that came out. It was a small blip that I felt like was something must have happened during the whole COVID stuff. And that batch kind of got circulated like a year after that, but it was very, very small. There's other companies out there that seem to be in a rut. And it's not Ettore. Ettore still is the GOAT, I think.
And I would say I would agree on this. And this did happen, I feel like, a couple years ago, and I received even rubber where I was kind of like, what's going on? Or the under part on the round area wasn't like cut all the way. So you put it in your channel, it got really, really tight, and it was super strange. And I have not received a rubber like that in over a year. And so some of these things are only noticed by the window cleaners who really pay attention to the stuff. And you're using it every day, all day. And I noticed it for a bit, but it quickly corrected itself. To me, I'll be honest, and I talked about this in companies, I felt like Unger Green rubber was really, really good in 2020 and 2021 and tapered off right at the beginning of, in January of, I want to say 21 or 22. I can't remember which one it was, but really tapered off for some reason. It was getting super sticky. They've corrected that a little bit. And I don't know what goes on with them. And we don't really hear about it, but it's really when you see how many different people like a certain squeegee rubber and their personal preference, it's all over the board. So you can't really tell if like there's an issue going on or not, unless you're getting the same complaint over and over and over and over again about the same particular thing.
And the other part too is the handle. People use, like, say they'll use a accelerator handle, and they'll go, oh man, this rubber sucks. And it's like, hold on, you're using a handle you've not used before. The handle changes the angle, which changes the feel, which moves your hand, and now you're too far off, and so there's like lots of different things that go with it. I know, and anybody, I'm not going to say it now, but you guys know who, if you talk to me, you know what brands I don't like, because they're my opinions. Like, I'll tell you what's crap out there. I think that there is a brand that I would not ever use again, just because it's just consistently bad. But for the most part, especially like Ettore, I think they're back to par. And we sell, I mean, you got to understand, last year alone, we spent $500,000 with Ettore. I mean, minimally, I think it was closer to $700,000. I mean, like, that much rubber coming in is just, I mean, it is such a small little blip, but also when people start talking about it, you sell that much of it,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Sean Johnson asked, is the high flow good for common residential on the pier? Yes. It's good for commercial residential. Same thing as your current pole hose that you use. I would just change it out with a high flow hose. That's it. That was most of the questions we had over here as far as that goes. I know there's probably been tons of questions I missed here, though, in the past.
I have a question, because you've used it at height and you've been testing it for a while, but is there a noticeable weight difference in the extra 16th of water?
Not in the pole as far as putting the pole up, but when you pull the hose and you drag the hose, it is thicker. It does catch on more stuff. There is that element to it.
The volume wise, it is 25% more volume. So you would think that there would be 25% more weight.
But it's so small of weight.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it would be right in between lugging the 3/8 hose or lugging the 5/16 hose.
Yeah.
I guess you could say. But yeah, I didn't notice much more. But my suggestion for everybody who uses it, I would run like 150 feet still of 3/8 hose, because the thing about a 3/8 hose is you will get the same volume that you got from your system output out of a 3/8 reel. I've done multiple tests on that. But when you start going down with these other hoses, it will reduce the volume, but it's about keeping that volume as high as possible.
Do you know how many times a week, literally, people argue me when we're talking, and they're like, hey, about the ultimate kit and this and this and this, and I got to get more pole hose. It's like, well, you have 150 foot. They're like, no, that's a garden hose. No, that's not a garden hose. Do not ever use the 3/8 hose as garden hose. That's a feed hose that feeds your pole to the system. I called it a feed hose, and Alex yelled at me, but that's still what I always call it. It's not a garden hose. Garden hose is something different, but out of the system to 3/8, 3/8 then to your pole hose, no matter if you're using the big stuff or the regular stuff. So
yeah.
Do rubbers need a break-in period, by the way? Somebody just asked.
The what?
Do rubbers need a break-in period?
I think so, and I think there's certain brands that need a break-in period. Ettore to me is the longest break-in period. Every like first 5 to 10 windows, I'll go up to a window. We were doing this out when we were in New York, and you just go up to the window and you just kind of fling it around the glass, and the rubber gets worked in. But like,
it's surprisingly fast though. It is like you said, 5 windows. I mean, it's pretty fast.
Yeah, but I didn't notice it. Like the Maker rubber had no break-in. Unger Green rubber has no break-in. Mormon Silver has like just a couple window break-in. But you'll notice it'll kind of drag at first. So sometimes when people try to new Ettore rubber, they'll call right away, "Oh, this drags everywhere." Nope, let's just say
dunk it in your bucket. There's talcum powder on there, and
boom,
yeah,
it's good. Yeah,
the talc powder that's on there too, with a lot of brands, just in general, is supposed to keep it dry and not rotting. So when you start first using it and it grabs funky, it's like it still just has that on there. Just soak it in your bucket, use it a bunch, or like you said, just do this on the window a whole bunch, and yeah, and like 30 seconds, you're back. Maybe not.
Well, what is the one thing that everybody is getting for themselves for the holidays before the year ends? As far as, it doesn't have to be window cleaning related. It could be a new ladder rack. What are you getting for your company as the year ends? Put it in the comments. What are you getting?
I hope SteveO says a computer.
I'm not.
Tax deduction. No.
Yeah. I just need to figure out this Wi-Fi issue. I think we'll just wait till the new house.
New house. Oh, a new house. You're gonna pull a Jeremy Pummel and buy a new house?
Yep. I'm gonna move right next door to Jeremy. Annoy the shit out of him.
This gonna be a party.
Yep.
I don't know who would have the harder time there.
Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know who would have the harder time.
But anyways, that is the end of the show. That is the end of the year. I know we've not been as consistent this year. Hopefully next year we will do it. Just know I don't know how many shows we'll have at the beginning of the year. I'm having a baby due mid-January, so it's going to be pretty busy. I'll be out of touch for a bit around that time, but we should get back to it. So we'll let you know, Josh. Are you playing a game?
Apparently. I was looking for like fireworks because it was like the end of the year. There's no fireworks.
Hey, fireworks. Snow. Hey. Oh, so nice.
No, it is the end of the year, which is absolutely amazing, though. 2023 is down in the books. If you guys haven't yet, please subscribe to Steve's channel. He needs to hit 45,000 subs before the end of the year.
Yeah, please. Yeah, it's a little much, but if you can do it,
that's only 5,000. I could do that in a week.
Yay!
Hey, I had a great week at 21 subs, so I can't complain. If you haven't yet, though, definitely subscribe to him because that would be absolutely amazing. Make sure to just comment anything and say hello. If you haven't on this live, there you go. And hearts up. I see everybody's doing tons of hearts and flags and smileys and emotes. That helps immensely to put the stuff out there. And that is why Steve does this kind of stuff, is to, A, give you guys some benefit, but also help the channel and help spread the word of Steve.
Yes. Please be safe, everyone, over the holidays. Enjoy your time with friends and family. Make yourself fat and just eat everything. Send donuts to Josh during this
keto week. Non-keto week's coming up.
Yeah, so you see all this energy. This is great. This could be every week. You could be eating donuts. I bet you're not even taking full advantage of it.
I'm not yet. It's not keto week yet, but it starts on Friday.
Oh, it starts this Friday for Christmas.
Yes. I'm just excited for it. Yeah.
Truth matters. No. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. Alrighty, y'all. Oh, do you have anything more you wanted to share? Do you have any?
Yes. If you haven't yet and you're looking for a deduction, a $69 deduction.
Okay.
Go and get yourself a subscription to the AWC magazine. Really, it is a paper magazine that is real. It has lots of pictures of Steve, shirtless, usually. But it is mailed to your mailbox. It's only $69 and it's a business deduction. So do that. Speaking of other business deductions, Steve and myself are reps for windowcleaner.com. If you guys need anything, please let us know. We can hook you up this time of year. Right now, big orders. We can do something super special. So keep it between just me and you. But, we could do something.
End of the year.
End of the year tax deduction time. So don't wait until January and then be like, hey, I heard you guys can hook it up, because we're not going to then.
Yeah, it's done. It's a new year. It's totally everything.
Steve needs a new microphone. So please let him put your orders in.
Okay. All righty. We'll get a new microphone. Bye-bye.
See you guys.